Tukov.
We've got a musical interlude to begin with today.
Uh-oh.
Hey, everybody on in Twitch. I'm Carlos A.S. Lysing. Welcome to the first Betrayal campaign. I'd like to introduce, as you know, our four players going across the board here. Across the board first, we have David Aho, who's playing Arion. David, it is good to see you, my man.
You as well.
As soon as I light you up. There you go. Crossover there. We have Brixton Beholder's Bane over on my right. How you doing, Brixton?
A little red today, but not bad.
I see that, simply red. Over there in the middle, we have our Rainmar, the Wild Light, and over here we have our good buddy Agrias. For those of you who happened to watch our solos last night, Agrias and Rainmar played in what may well have been two of my favorite games so far of our campaign. Man, I thought those were two pretty badass games, especially yours, Agrias.
You mean because I was stressed out of my mind?
That was so mind-bending. It was so much fun.
I caught Jeremy's, but I haven't watched Agrias's yet.
Oh, dude, you're going to see me sweat on camera.
If you see Agrias's, there is so much crazy stuff going on. It's really almost hard to keep track of it.
It made it worse than what it was 2 weeks ago with him poofing off into Shadowland.
Oh, that's nothing, man.
Well, yeah, I think it got worse. For those of you who are watching us right now, you'll probably see some new innovations again on Twitch. I'm always trying to improve what you guys see out there. At the bottom of our screen, there's a roller there through which you'll be able to see everyone's statistics going by. That's Arion's, Rainmar's, Agrias's, and Brixton's basic statistics. This is in an attempt over there to get you guys a little bit more in tune with the kind of players, the characters that they're playing, for people that are tuning in for the first time. We're working on innovating that to be a live thing so that when they take damage, it actually reflects the damage that they take.
That's cool.
And statistical changes. So I'm making some moves on that.
That's cool.
Oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. It's like I said, I try and give something new and something fun all the time, and hopefully you dig it. Over there on the top, you'll see our game map up there is new. It has come to my attention that everybody out there is having some issues with there's lag on Twitch. So when I show the map, a lot of times it's gone before they have a chance to actually see it. So this is an attempt to have it up all the time so that you guys can see. It's persistent that way. Everybody gets a chance to see the map, and there's a little bit more fun on it.
Here's a question for you, Carlos. I was wondering,
of course,
how possible is it to put that map instead of being on Twitch for us players to have it in the screen on our Zoom? You know, as in like another. You know, I've got you, me, Rainmar, Brixton, Agrias, on my Zoom screen. Have the map at the same time.
Oh, on the Zoom screen itself. That's good innovation. I might have to try that. I don't know how I will do that, but I will give that. So I'll investigate that.
Okay.
Because I know that some of you guys watch only Zoom, or some of you guys are only watching Twitch or whatever. So, yeah, that'll be a fun thing to try. I enjoy trying to solve the tech challenges all the time and do different stuff with it, because it prevents me completely from writing modules and doing Patreon. So anything that allows me to procrastinate, I really enjoy. Anyway, totally having fun.
You're a nut, you know that?
Oh, so anyway, when I last left my Intrepid Heroes, just to catch up for everybody. Intrepid Heroes.
Oh, shush.
Arion and Brixton. You guys were, actually the entire group, was at the Fallen Temple up in the Rakers Mountains. You were investigating getting the helmet that Calissa and Trotty had told you about. Things went awry quickly inside the temple. To recap very briefly, there was a chimera in a room that Sister Aramina found herself inside. In order to try and save her, Agrias tried to use his powers to teleport into there, grab her, and come out quickly. This is a mystery of shadow he had not learned or mastered properly. So he had very, very poor chances to get it done. He rolled exceptionally well the first time, teleported in, grabbed her. However, as he tried to teleport out, it didn't go so well. He was trapped on the plane of shadow and is currently there as we speak. As a result, he is missing in action. Brixton and Arion had made camp at the in the temple proper because it's a good place to have shelter. Everybody was tired. Everybody was a little bit beat up from a battle with a small Orcish tribe that was there. But in the meantime, Rainmar has been exploring the extent of the temple, some of the hidden secrets of it. What he has discovered during the exploration of the hidden secrets of the temple is that the entire place is infested by the ghosts of this ancient culture that came from across the seas. They have their own gods, they have their own magic, they have their own artifacts. And apparently they came over as a way of hiding the helmet from the god to whom it's consecrated to. When Rainmar stoked the temple back to life by putting an offering inside the bowl, at the beginning, the eyes of the gods fell upon the temple, and now things are happening. Things are changing rapidly inside of there. Things that were long set in motion long ago are actually beginning to move again. So, Rainmar has recently found one of the ghosts that is inside of the temple, and the ghost belongs to a ancient warrior named Asperion. Now, Asperion is a proponent of the shield and spear, and he has been training Rainmar in how to use the shield and spear, because Rainmar has just gained enough experience to gain a level. So, he's in the middle of training right now, while Brixton and Arion are out front. Tonight...
I thought we were all right next to that door at the time.
You are. You guys were all outside the door. I've moved you guys out to make camp so that I could give those guys their solos. I moved you guys about 15 feet. No big deal.
Okay.
Agrias, you know where you are right now. Last night, Agrias and I made a new character for Agrias that he will be playing until the Tenebrous Hand is able to rejoin the party.
If he does it all.
On the bottom,
which may be a while.
if indeed he is ever able to rejoin the party. So as you can see on the bottom, even though that his roller says Agrias, he's actually going to be playing a character named Kilaya today. And we are going to begin, however, since I soloed you guys last time, I'm going to begin with Brixton and Arion. It's first thing in the morning, Brixton and Arion. You're waking up. You've made your bedrolls inside of the temple. There's still light inside the temple, which was stoked to life, as you may remember, when Rainmar went ahead. He made his offering to the gods at the temple beginning. You were the whole group is the first thing you smell is breakfast. Breakfast is being served right now. Lily and Sunny are cooking for the group. It's the smell is wonderful of the cooking, the sizzling meat. There smells like there's eggs in there. Brixton, you're the first one to wake up because you're very close to it. They decide to cook right next to you, basically. Could you tell me what you want to do?
Well, I'll start with eating if it's finished.
Okay. Yeah, you begin with eating, and I'm going to put up on the screen, on the map itself, where you are. There's been so much exploration of the map. There's been so much exploration of the map that I'm not going to use the Fog of War effect at this point in time. You guys know enough about it to be able to see what's going on.
That's on Twitch?
Yep, it's on Twitch. This is where your location is. You're right in the middle of the 8-pillared columned room, which is right in the middle of the screen. And the back of the room is occupied by the altar. Sunny and Lily are cooking. Sunny kind of pokes you a little bit, Brixton. She's first thing in the morning. She's like, "Hey, Rainmar was by a few minutes ago. He just wanted to let you know that." Oh, I'm sorry. First, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rainmar was by. He said that he was just going to explore a little bit more of the temple by himself. He took Jonas. He took Brother Karak. He took his wolf, and he took Melina. Yeah, he took Melina.
Yeah. Okay.
So, I made breakfast.
Great. Perfect.
She kind of slides a plate over to you. Lily is over, meanwhile, by Ariane. And Ariane, she gives you the same information. Hey,
right.
Breakfast is ready. Just so you know, this is where everybody is. Ariane, I don't know who's really in charge right now, she says. I guess Rainmar is, but he's missing right now. He's exploring the rest of the temple. Do you think we're going to be able to go in and try and find Agrias sometime soon?
I have no idea. Where he's at, I am not sure.
Okay, she nods. Okay. Just so you know, I forgot to mention that orc that's been following around Jeremy. I can't even remember his name. He's with him too.
Oh,
I can't remember his name. They all these orcs look the same to me.
hey. How do I put their names?
So you guys begin to eat breakfast, the whole bunch of you there in the temple. And we're going to go back now to Jeremy. Rainmar, you've studied the entire night with the group, with Asperian. As Melina said, she is waiting outside, and the rest of the group was going to reconnoiter with the primary group in the main temple. Asperian, aside of the prismatic chrysanthemum, who is almost supernatural, the way that she moves and the way she acts, is easily the most skilled warrior you've ever seen. But Asperian is not elegant like her. He's very direct. He's very blunt. He's very brutal. He specializes in dirty tricks in fighting. He is very to the point, and he tells you all the time that there's no style points in war. He says there's only winners and the dead. Okay. So he encourages you to remember that as you fight and as you struggle with your foes. Always remember that that they won't remember how well you fought. If they'll remember whether you lived or died. And you'll be the one to tell the tale anyway, so you can tell anybody how you fought. Excuse me. That was me. Okay. You can tell the tale of how you fought yourself as time goes on. Okay. But he's very interested in the times when you are training. There's little breaks in your training about your culture. He wants to know the whole group, their group, these ancient, they call themselves Grecians. They don't know anything of the culture. When they arrived here, there were no people. The animals were strange. They had strange monsters out there. So he wants to know a lot about your culture and what it's like and what history happened, and wants to know about your battles and things like that. And he's mostly curious about the questions he always asks are like these. You're talking about the Battle of Emerity Meadows, which helped shape the Flanaess. And when you tell him about the battle, he wants to know about specific tactics and maneuvers. Like, why didn't the Bandit Kingdom's men do this? Did they have information that this was happening? Why didn't they do this? He's very interested in the way that the tactics of the modern day shape the battle. And it seems like he never seems to find fault. He just nods. He just seems to accept it. But you can tell that he's filing everything away, and he's almost developing his own picture of the way that war is fought in this land. Okay. Like, he wants to know basically what kind of resources are available to you. For example, you find out that spellcasting is extremely rare where he came from. It's only the province of the favorite of the gods, some priests, and some oracles. It's very hard to get advance warning of things, like through scrying. And so whenever he finds out about that, he's very interested in things like that. You had that ability, but yet they didn't seek to take advantage of it. Things like that. Okay. And while you fight, you take your lumps from him, for sure. But as you're going on further and further, you're starting to put together his technique. Your character is very educated, as you can see on your roller down there. You're able to put together things pretty quickly. All right, and footwork is very important to him. Fighting from a very strong base is important to him, and leverage is super important to him, especially with the spear. Where you're holding the spear is of utmost importance to him, because without having... There's certain things that are impossible movements and possible movements based on where your hand position is on the spear. And so it's very important for him to teach you proper technique as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Agrias, a.k.a. Kalaya.
So,
As you know, you've been traveling from a long way. Not long ago, you left Kavrick's Cove having found out that the Fellowship had gone south and to work with a group called Procan's Eye. There was a man named Corvus that was in town that was hiring at the Mercenary Guild. And so you got pretty good information on where to go. When you showed up at their camp, however, it was an armed compound at that point in time. They'd made a stockade wall around it. They dug a moat. And there were two men that were in charge of the defense of the place. One's name was Herrick. He was an uneducated lout of a man with a crossbow. And there was a paladin of some minor goddess that you'd never heard of, human goddess. He was much more refined, a little bit more easy to talk to.
mm-hmm.
They pretty much summarily sent you away from the camp. They didn't know who you were. They wouldn't tell you where they went. They said, basically, you're on your own. I have no idea who you are until you come back with them and they say you can enter the camp. You can't enter the camp. So hit the bricks. That made things a little bit more difficult for you. So you had to use a little bit of your direction sense and tracking non-weapon proficiencies that you've had. It's taken you a very long time to find this group. You've got the letter that was sent north to get more people. You found the tower, but you stay the hell away from it for the time being.
Right.
Continuing to track everybody south through the mountains. You're probably about a mile and a half away from the place, and you find this massive battlefield of orcs, dead orcs everywhere. So it's pretty clear they were here. And you continue to track them up through the mountains in towards the temple. You're not far from the temple mouth as we speak. I'll get to you in a second. Brixton and Arion.
Yes.
First thing, you guys have eaten breakfast? I need to know what spells you guys are prepared first thing in the morning.
Got command, cure, light ×2, and leveling the bow.
Okay. What about you, Brixton?
I'm going to do Distract, 2 Delusion, Haze. And then for my first level, I'm going to do Enlarge and Color Spray. I mean, why stop a good thing?
Especially Enlarge. For those of you guys who missed it before, Brixton saved his bacon a couple times with Enlarge.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yeah, I thought that both of those were pretty clever uses of that spell, by the way. But that's another story. You guys are just getting done with breakfast. You're finishing up preparing your spells, getting ready.
Now, can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
So my understanding from watching Raymar solo is we've already been here for a day.
Yes, that's correct.
They sent people back to talk to us.
That is also correct.
Yeah, so, okay.
Oh, from 2 weeks ago, this is actually like 2 days later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm only going with 2 days later just to fit everybody in as far as their
Gotcha.
as far as their basic. I want to get everybody on the same page, basically.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's probably prudent at this point in time.
As just refresh my memory or Ariane's memory, I am guessing that everybody has informed or has briefed everybody on why we needed this helmet.
Yes.
Everything else.
The briefing that you received on why you needed the helmet was you were close to it, Calissa and Trotty mentioned to Rainmar at some point the existence of the helmet, and the group decided, led by Agrias, that going to get it and gaining power for the trials to come would be a good idea, especially if it could give you power necessary when you decide to enter Mirathason.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so the helmet's actually one of these magic items that we were...
It is one of the magic items that you were meant to go get. It's just not one of them that happened to be in Mirathason.
Okay. Well, what about like the spear or the the sword and the...
No one has recovered those. Those are into the Chimera room still.
Right. But I was wondering, were we basically told to get those too or anything?
No, nobody mentioned the existence of those to you.
Okay.
So in any case, you're there at the main entrance, and coming down the hallway towards you, from down that left passageway. On Twitch, I'll leave my cursor there so you guys can see it. Coming down that left passageway, you see the orc that follows Jeremy around. His name is Norik. As soon as you see him, you put the face together with the name. Like, oh yeah, that's his name.
It's Norik.
It's Norik. That's right.
Norik or Nork? So
Norik. Norik. Norrrhek. EHK.
Nanu.
Yeah. He comes down. There, he's followed by the monk. And he's followed by the monk. The two of them enter the room. And they tell you, Brixton and Arion, they kind of get you guys together a little bit. They call for both of you. And they tell you the following. Norik is the one who talks, the orc. You're a little surprised that the brother, the monk, isn't the one who speaks.
Is he speaking in Orcish?
He does speak in Orcish to you.
Right.
He says, because he knows you both know Orcish, he's heard you speak it before. He says, "Oh, I got a message from the boss."
The boss, huh?
Well, he's the boss now. Grias is dead, right?
Well, if you think so, yeah.
Right, well, that he's the boss now.
I thought he was the Gravis.
Oh yeah, well, I forgot. Sorry. Anyway, the boss. See, this is why I call him the boss. That way, nobody gets confused. Anyway, like I was saying.
What's your message?
The message is, we ran into some trouble.
If you spell it backwards, it's SOB.
We got into some trouble deep inside of this temple. Brother Jonas is dead. Just so you guys know. He looks back at the other monk. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. You guys are kind of insensitive. You guys are sensitive about that stuff. He's gone. He died. Blew up. Sorry again. Anyway,
happens a lot to our group.
Yeah. I've been told that. Anyway, so we ran into a few more interesting things. If you happen to hear anything like growling or howling or something coming down that right corridor, the one over there, get ready, because there's some burning wolves down there. I think he called them. Rainbow called them. Basically, they're wolves on fire. And we promised we'd get them some food at some point, but I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Boss hasn't said. But anyway, just so you know, we ran into another ghost. That's the important part. The ghost is with Rainmar right now, and he's teaching him how to use a spear. I can't remember the ghost's name, but it was something like, it was one of your stupid human names. So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be offensive. It's a human name.
Okay.
And Melina said that she was going to wait outside the door because she doesn't totally trust this ghost.
All right.
She also said, after, I don't know if she wanted Boss to know this or not, but she said somebody was coming. That we should expect company come to the temple, but it was a friendly face.
Okay, that's fine. Can you tell Agrias that we're leaving?
Boss Agrias or missing Agrias? Because I can't tell missing Agrias nothing.
Can you tell the boss that we're leaving?
Right, got it. Where are you? Wait, we're leaving?
I'm leaving, at least.
You're leaving.
You're leaving? Where are you going?
I need to head back to Mirthrason. First off, they sent the boat with the rest of our camp down there looking for us, and my familiar's down there.
Your familiar. You got a familiar?
Yeah, my pet's down there.
What do you got?
I don't know if you'll know what it is.
Oh, so I'm stupid because I'm an orc now.
Yeah, probably. It's a hippocampus.
You're right, I don't know what that is.
I told you.
What is it?
It's a seahorse.
A seahorse. You ride a seahorse. That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
Seahorses, you know.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life.
Well, either way, I need it. So.
All right, well, okay, that's fine. But boss said we should all stick around, I think, didn't he? He looks over at the brother, goes, he didn't say anything like that.
I'm pretty sure, if anything, Raymar mentioned...
Kalaya, you're outside, meanwhile, of the stairway leading down into the temple. What will you do?
We're all...
Kalaya Agrias?
Patrick?
Kalaya, you're outside of the temple right now, looking down the stairway. You hear voices down there. Are you going to enter the temple?
I'm gonna stand there with my weapon in my hands.
Okay, you just stand there. You guys, meanwhile, are in the group together down there still. Well, all right. Well, I'll tell the boss you left. What about you, Ariane? Are you going anywhere?
I'm still waking up here. I have no idea what we're. You know, are we supposed to bring this stuff back to the camp?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should come with me.
I think that's probably a good idea.
I'm still squishy.
Okay. Well, I'll see you guys later. Well, what do you want to do? What do you want us to do, Brixton?
Come with us.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay. You can tell that she really wants to go get Agrias.
Now, here's the thing. I'm trying to figure out if we're don't split the party, and here we are in 4 different ways of going about doing this here.
I love it.
And so one thing, I don't know who's got the helmet. I know I don't, unless Brixton's got it in his little bag.
Well, I can tell you that Raymar's got it. Agrias got it.
Well, if he's got the helmet, then there's really no reason to go back to camp to bring a helmet back to him when we don't have a helmet to bring him.
Well, I would like to empty out the rest of the contents of the bag at camp.
Well, that's fair.
Unless it's a faster route just straight to Mirthrason from here, or if we have to go through camp.
It's about equal. It's about equal.
So it doesn't make a difference if we go. It
doesn't really make a difference. The passage is about equal.
Okay. So yeah, we'll go through camp to make sure everybody knows that we're alive. That's there, and kind of the situation at hand.
Okay. You guys are having this discussion. The group is beginning to pack up and get ready to go. Meanwhile, Rainmar, you're in the room with Asperian. And Asperian kind of stops and looks at you halfway. And he says, "What do you plan on doing once you learn the secrets of this place? What will become of it?"
What will become of the temple, or what will become of me?
He just kind of waits for your answer.
My intention is to plumb the secrets of the temple in as much as I'm capable of, and bring it back to working order.
You have no gods of your own, then?
I just look at him.
He nods. Pauses for a second, seems to think. You are truly born of courage. He nods.
I'm born of curiosity.
Then you do not know the ramifications of what you say. You realize that the gods see all and know all. He looks up, kind of in the sky a bit. He says, "With the eyes of my gods now upon this place, the gods of this land, they certainly will respond."
That's very possible.
I would think it could be tragic, the consequences.
Yeah, that's probably true. But the thing is, it's tragic for me not to pursue my curiosity.
He nods. And is this what this is? Your learning of the spear is curiosity?
It's preparation.
He nods. Then I will continue to teach you.
I appreciate
He
that.
says you should be prepared. There is much to come, particularly if you continue on the path that you are currently treading. I can feel his eyes upon the helmet. Pallas Apollo stares upon it, even as we speak.
Well, it's a good thing we've got guardians all over these temples.
He laughs a bit. He says, "Yes, it is a good thing that we have guardians." He looks over at the wall. You guys begin to practice again. This practicing goes on and on. It seems to go like it goes on forever, really. He is very, like I said, he's very methodical, very thorough. His ability to teach is quite good, conveying lessons. And by the time you're done with him, you feel like you're significantly better of a fighter.
With the spear, specifically.
With the spear. And and as far as that goes, we're going to use that as a weapon proficiency for you at this point in time. All right?
Okay.
When you get your next character build, because you have gained a level where you're going to get a proficiency, that will be one of your proficiencies. You will also be, if you continue to study with him, because he is a weapon specialist in the spear, you will have the opportunity during your next proficiency that you gain to get a specialization if you wish it. Assuming that you're still in fighter class by that point in time. You're a single class fighter. This seems to go on for probably weeks at a time. You're training with him.
Okay.
And soon enough, he tells you, "You have learned what I can teach you for the moment."
Okay.
He says, soon the time will come when you must return, and I will be here, waiting.
In this room.
Indeed. He nods. He says, "Have a care with that helmet." He says, "Many are the eyes upon you right now."
Understood. And I hand him back his spear.
No. He shakes his head. He goes, "That is yours now." He says, "My time with it is done." He says, "There are many more whose lives must end at its tip."
Is it, okay. I examine it, appreciatively.
Mm-hmm.
And, I use it kind of as a walking stick.
Okay, you start walking out of the room. As you walk out of the room, Melina is sitting there, as is Fluffy is with you, by the way. The first thing that you notice is she looks at you, and she looks at Fluffy, and then she looks back at you for a second. Fluffy is now waist high to you.
Okay.
She looks at the both of you, and she says, "You're finished then."
For the time being, yes.
She looks at you up and down, smiles a bit. She says, "You look strong."
I feel pretty strong. How much time has passed?
She thinks about it for a second. Nearly a month.
Okay. All right. So
you guys begin to walk down the hallway together. And as you walk down the hallway together, you're hearing voices. You're hearing Norik's voice going, you mean Agrias boss or Raymar boss or Agrias? I can't get all this straight. You come down the hallway and everybody's sitting there. They're just having breakfast, finishing up.
Okay.
Raymar has just walked into the room, Arion and Brixton. With a spear in his hand. He looks like he's put on about 10 pounds, he looks like he's lost about 20 pounds and gained 10 of it back in muscle, and just sheer lean muscle. He is ripped right now. He's shirtless right now. He's got a spear in his hand. He's got a shield in his hand, both of which clearly come from a different culture. He's got that helmet, the weird helmet on his head. He's got these boots that lace up kind of like sandal boots that lace up like a thongs around up to his knees. Totally dressed like someone from a totally different culture. Melina is with him.
I pipe up and say, "You're so ripped, shredded paper is jealous."
It's a true story.
Speaking of shredded paper, hey, thank you, Retro Gamer Meth. We really appreciate your following us. Speaking of shredded paper, you hear footsteps, Kalaya, coming up the stairway towards you. And
I didn't know it was like Samian around here. Although it is the fall, right?
It is. You hear the footsteps coming towards you. Right away, you are in Darkness Sees All. And you recognize it's two very small females coming up the stairs, and they're talking to one another. How are we going to find Agrias? They say, back and forth to each other. I don't know. They don't seem all that bothered about going to get him. Well, I don't know about you, but he taught me a lot, and I feel like we should go find him.
Are they speaking in Gnomish?
Do that, you dope. What?
Are they speaking in Gnomish?
Yes, they are speaking in Gnomish.
Okay.
They're coming up the stairs. Finally, they get into the range where you can see them. They're two young Gnomish girls bickering back and forth with one another. And they see you, and they freeze right away. They're hi.
I tell them in Gnomish, I'm also looking for Agrias.
Who are you?
I'm Kalaya.
They both look at each other. And Sonny, the one on the right, looks at and says, well, you're too late for Then her sister elbows her, obviously, in the gut. She winces. She goes, Agrias is right down here. We'll take him to you. She kind of glares at her sister a little bit.
Did I catch that that's a lie? Can I roll for that?
Yeah, go ahead.
20?
Mm-hmm.
6.
Something is weird about it, but you can't tell if it's a lie or not.
Okay.
So they start walking down the stairs with you. You guys are in the middle of talking, getting back together. The whole group is connecting again. And the voices come from down the hallway. You hear them both. Everybody, we're bringing somebody down here that you guys don't know. A stranger, don't shoot us. It's Lily and Sonny. It's somebody for Agrias.
I've got my bow ready anyhow.
Okay.
Can I hide behind one of the pillars?
Yes, you can. Rainmar, you see Fluffy / Monty / Stinky / every other nickname you've ever called her. Kind of interposes herself between you and the entrance to the temple.
With the scabbard of the rose sword close enough that I can draw it off.
Okay. You got it there. He's taught you how to use the gladius as kind of a backup weapon to the spear. So you really know two styles of fighting right now. You really know that your sword style that you've been taught from the prismatic chrysanthemum, and you know Asperion's spear style. So when we discuss your fighting styles, you can go back and forth through there. You're proficient in both of them, though. Meanwhile, Norik kind of walks up in front, too, with his sword, standing right next to Fluffy. The brother hides behind a column right next to Arion and whispers in Arion's ear. He says, if they advance, he goes, I'll close to melee. Shoot. Don't worry about where I'm standing.
Nod.
Okay. Kalaya, you walk down into the temple. Everyone, this is what you see. You see a very tall, slender, elvish woman walk down into the temple. Her hood is down. She's got long, ashen gray hair. Kind of pale features, but not like the prismatic chrysanthemums, like actually alive. Violet eyes. Kind of like a wisteria color, I guess. Very impassive. She walks down the stairs. Right away, Rainmar, Melina, you notice a huge, surprise on her face.
Surprise? Like danger or surprise?
No, surprise like shocked. Right away, Melina says, I didn't think you'd come.
Did I hear this?
Yeah.
I relax a little bit, but I'm still...
Agrias? Yeah. I should say, before you go ahead, Jeremy.
I signal for Norik to stand down, but I don't take Monty off the job.
Yeah, Norik puts his sword back down, kind of eyeballs you. Brother Karak kind of whispers over in your ear, Arion, again. He says, I don't trust this one yet, he says.
I don't trust anyone.
He says, we'll stay with the plan.
Yeah, I basically whisper under my breath, says, I don't trust anyone right now anyway.
He nods. He says, I wish I were more like you. Brixton, you're standing behind the pillar. Sunny and Lily are kind of looking around for you, you can tell, but Kalaya, you walk into the temple, and this is you see this group assembled. Yeah, Brixton, go ahead.
When Kalaya passes me, I want to walk out behind Kalaya, hand crossbow drawn.
You're because of your all-around sight, you're very aware of the position, Kalaya, that they're in. You're walking into the temple. Rainmar / Agrias, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm just standing there with this shield kind of over my shoulder. Mm-hmm. I got this spear. I'm just ripped, I mean, I've just been...
just sweat glistening.
Sweat glistening, right.
I look
like you just walked off the set of 300.
Seriously, and I look like the cover of a smut novel.
Oh, yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Except for pointed teeth.
Hey, nobody notices that until I smile, and right. I'm not smiling.
Which is always.
I look at Melina.
You're going to be starting swearing by Crom pretty soon.
I look at Melina. I look at Kalaya. I look back at Melina. I look at Kalaya, and I say, you guys don't even want to know what I'm thinking right now.
Perhaps not, Melina says. Perhaps this will explain everything. She sees her sword and walks up to you, Kalaya, and puts her hand out in a sisterly gesture, wraps her arm around yours. She says, you got the message then.
I did, sis.
She smiles subtly. She says, Rainmar, Arion, Brixton, Lily, Sunny, Brother Kirak, Norik, this is my sister, Kalaya.
Blood sister or sister in an organization?
No, she's my blood sister, she says, as well as my sister within an organization. She looks at you and she says, notices your medallion, and she says, I see that you are still associated with the Ashen Wisteria.
But of course.
Nods. Good.
I see you're out of the library.
You know why I had to leave. I just didn't trust the gardener any longer.
We all have our excuses.
She sighs a little bit. She looks a little bit chastised. She looks at the rest of the group. She says, "My friends," she says, "this is my sister. She's one of the finest warriors I know. She will be certainly of help to us as we continue our path forward."
Can I put my hand crossbow away and I say, Kalaya, this is Rainbow.
If you could get my name right, that'd be a good start.
He is one of the finest warriors we know.
And I just go like this. I just go, true story.
The brother walks out from behind the pillar.
Is Rainmar ahead of me, in between me and Kalaya?
Yeah.
I point at him and I go this.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. Can I roll to see if I notice Ariane doing that?
No all-around sight, no. So anyway, your group is all standing there. The wolf, this all-black wolf with these burning green eyes that is standing between you, Kalaya, and Rainmar, is not moving. Its eyes are fixed right on you, and it looks like I'm ready to rip your throat out at the slightest provocation.
I say that's a cute pup in Orcish.
Nora kind of looks over at you. Not bad for an elf.
Question for you. I cannot remember. Where the heck is Tobias right now?
Tobias was with the Seasick crew. As I recall. No, actually, no. I take that back. Tobias was with you. Tobias was with you.
Because I thought that one of the...
Tobias is with you, and as a matter of fact, right now, he is not in the temple proper. You don't know where he is. Go ahead, Kalaya.
Oh, I thought Tobias was still at camp, because that's where we took Sonny and Lily from, and they were watching over him when we got back.
Okay, yeah, that sounds more right to me. Yeah, I think that's actually correct. I think you're right.
So Tobias is at camp.
Yeah, Tobias is at camp. So he's there with he was there with the rest. He was there with his blood brother in uncontrollable rage, Herrick. So, right now, Ariane, you are animal companionless, just like Brixton is familiarless.
Well, he's got 2 badgers.
Oh yeah, you. Oh.
Sunny does. I gave her the...
Yeah, the badge. She's got an armful of badgers. The girls do. Each one of them has claimed one of them as their own.
That's cute.
Yes. Kalaya, you're seeing this group around you.
I don't need any more animals.
Melina looks at the bunch of you and says, as you all sent letters to your friends trying to get help from different sources, so too I sent a letter back to the monastery to see if my sister could come and join us. As you can see, she has responded.
I'm also looking for Agrias.
So are we.
Melina looks over at you, Rainmar.
What do you want with me?
Your name is Rangmar, is it not?
It depends on who's asking.
He's Rainmar.
Well, I am.
Then in your case, my name is Agrias.
Then where's your sword?
Can I do a quick draw?
Yeah.
I quick draw the Black Orchid sword.
Not horrible technique as far as for somebody that's not...
Can I tell?
Yeah.
Now, wait a second. Just a second. You mean that I've spent months studying the charismatic Pristanthed whatever fucking...
Wow, say that 3 times fast.
Well, I think I just did. and then I can't fake it well enough.
Sounds like date night.
You fake it pretty well. You fake it pretty well, but you got to remember her style is not any more like the monastery style. She practices her own thing, where he practices the
look, I practice my own thing.
Here's the thing that I got to think of. How much time did he spent with the ghost and the spear?
Yeah, that's true too.
You guys got to remember, Melina already just introduced Ringmar as Ringmar, not Agrias.
Yes, because she trusts her. Because she trusts her sister.
And I don't.
Right.
And I did the same.
Brixton, what do you got?
Oh no, I was just saying I introduced Ringmar as Ringmar too.
Yes, you did. So.
Okay. So I kill her.
Okay, you're gonna attack her?
No, because I don't think I'd survive it. So, but I show my marking on my sword.
Okay. He shows you the sword. The marking on the sword belongs to is one of the rose markings.
No. I have the black orchid sword.
Oh, okay, you have a black orchid sword. That's right. She shows the black orchid sword.
And I have both.
Yeah, I forgot.
I'm putting a collection together. Pretty soon I'm going to have Melina's old sword.
Be careful with that. So, yeah, you show the black orchid sword. It's legit, Agrias.
And the creed.
The what?
Your creed for the black orchid.
My
See,
creed.
man, I was the black orchid, so I got this.
The creed for the black orchid, I mean, I can open the PDF if I want. I just tell you the creed for the black orchid. I don't want to waste time looking for the file and opening it up.
I didn't think we had computers back in this age.
Melina looks at you. Melina looks at you, Kalia.
The bard is supposed to know this by heart.
He's not a bard yet. He got 5 levels of
Whose
rogue.
side are you on, Brixton?
My side.
Yeah, because, see, there's a good chance that I'll kill Matthew. So, I have a lot more opportunities to murder him.
Okay, so can I see the rose sword?
Yes, you can see it.
And so what's the story with that one?
I gave it to him. Melina says.
No, the rose sword is the one I took off the chick I killed in Caprick's Cove.
So which story is it?
The one I just told you, smartass.
Okay.
Sister, be at peace. These are friends.
I give her a little wink. Come on, I got high enough charisma and I got my shirt off. I mean, I probably have wet nipples right now, for Christ's sake.
Jesus Christ, bro.
You're sweating.
Tell you, I'm glowing. I mean, I just...
Do I have to roll for that, Carlos?
No, I'm not going to make you roll for that. I'm not going to make you roll for that. You just killed me just now with the wet nipples.
I reach down and a little small sack, and I toss it over to...
I don't need to know about that small sack, buddy.
I toss it over to Kalia and says, here's a pomander for you.
Okay, I catch it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I notice...
It'll help you with some of the BS that you're smelling here.
The brother monk comes out from around the corner and looks at you. And he looks at the bunch of you. He says, do we trust her or do we not? Because if we do not, then let's make war right now. If not, then we should accept her as a
I'm inclined to trust from...
Such a welcoming Melina.
I think she's cool.
Melina just shrugs a little bit, like sheepishly. She says, I've tried to impress upon them that we're that you're my sister.
Hey, Kalia, I've got this black marble door I'd like you to open for me.
Dude, you know what? She's capable. She would not blink.
I make it very clear I don't trust her, but I trust Melina.
Okay. Melina looks at you, Rainmar, and she says, as of right now, my sister, this is our leader and our foreman, she says, looking at Rainmar. Rainmar, where will we be going? What will we do now?
I pipe up and tell Rainmar, I guess I'm heading back to Mirror Racing.
I'm going to ask you to stop by camp on the way. I need you to drop off some letters for me.
Okay.
If you don't mind terribly, it's kind of on the way-ish.
It is, yeah. I was intending to go to camp.
Oh, okay, excellent. I've got letters for Herrick and Calissa and Trotty, the Colonel. The Colonel? Admiral.
Yeah, Colonel. The Colonel. You got the Colonel right.
Colonel. Close rank. Okay. But I need to remain at the temple for a while longer.
Why?
Well, because I'm doing research.
As Conan?
Yes.
Yes. I am on. I'm no longer on the Bard track. I'm on the Conan the Barbarian track. And
We're pretty swole right now.
These are facts, bro. I know. I don't know why I just called Kalaya bro, but it just feels right, you know.
Well, you're also trying to seduce your bro right now, so I don't know exactly how I feel about that.
Yeah, it's all getting a little weird right now.
Technically, me stabbing you with the Black Orchid sword is not foreplay. that's
Ariane. One of the girls is over next to you, and she says, "It's probably not a bad idea. We could bring these guys home too." She holds up one of the badgers.
I jump in immediately. This camp wouldn't be where there's Ingrate leading the charge and fortifying it, is there?
They all look at each other. Did this Ingrate give you a name?
Yeah, he did give me a name, right? Yeah, Herrick.
She sighs slightly.
You know, I gotta tell you. You know, Kalaya, I chose not to murder that guy one day. You know, Brixton had him in his crosshairs, and we just let him live because, you know what? He's comic relief for the group.
Noted.
And here's the other thing: is I trust him about 20 times more than I trust you.
You wouldn't be the first person to tell me that.
No, but if you cross me, I'll be the last person to tell you that.
The wolf has not blinked.
Oh, Christ! Tell her to calm. I tell her to calm down. Jesus Christ! You're gonna give yourself a heart attack.
Looks at you right in the face. Kalaya goes, "Orc."
That's cute. So is there a way for me to get in this camp?
Yeah, usually by going with somebody who's trusted.
Okay, Melina, let's go.
Melina says, looks over at you, Raymar. She says, "Shall I send for Calissa and Trotty?"
It's in the letter.
Very well, then. I will go with you then, sister, and I will take you to camp with Brixton and with Ariane. You will stay here by yourself, then?
You talking to me?
She nods.
I assume Norik and...
Well,
no, he's not staying by himself. I'm staying with him, Norik says.
And Kozrock, you stay with me.
He nods.
And Melina, I mean, just when we were starting to, you know?
It's my sister. I have to.
You don't really. I mean, she doesn't even seem like she likes you that much, and I like you a lot. Like a lot.
I put it in my hands. That's probably a good reason for you to go to camp with us.
Yeah, Kalaya can come with us.
Yes, Kalaya, you will definitely come with us. She says, if you want to find Agrias, then that's the most certain way to find him.
But Agrias is here, is he not?
Yeah, he's right there.
I have a tale to tell you of Agrias, she says. It's troubling.
We can stop on that tower. You guys can stop at that tower if you want.
She looks
Tower?
back. No, we won't be stopping by the tower.
Citadel of Shadow.
She says we'll be going directly back to the camp, I think, and then, as you say, we should go to Mirathason. Perhaps Rainmar will meet us there when his time is concluded.
Who's this talking?
Melina.
Oh, yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Raymar, can I mark it on his map for him?
Oh, yeah, please.
And then, as well as best I could pinpoint the entrances that we found.
Yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Agrias, Rainmar, excuse me, I should say Arion, Kalaya, and Brixton.
Yep.
In short order, the whole group has gathered up your belongings and you're ready to leave the temple. You're going post haste to the camp and then to Merathason, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Kalaya, during this travel, your sister tells you this story about Agrias. Apparently, Agrias has been studying with one of the a renegade from the garden who calls herself the Prismatic Chrysanthemum. This Prismatic Chrysanthemum has explored Shadow in a way that, hey, Pickman, how you doing? Thank you for joining. She has explored Shadow in such a way that her abilities are unlike anything that has ever been done at the garden before. And you get the impression that Melina is genuinely in awe of her ability. She tells you that she's stronger than the gardener. She's even stronger than Hirathesi. So she tells you that she has this ability to flicker in and out of Shadow, appearing in different places without traveling through the space in between. Well, something bad happened at the temple, and Agrias attempted to use that ability and tumbled backwards into Shadow and hasn't been seen since. He may very well be dead. He may very well have been lost on the plane of Shadow. It's hard to say. But she tells you that Agrias is a man of good heart, and he's proven himself to her many, many times, and she's committed to going and finding him at some point, and she hopes that you'll help.
And what's the story with Rangmar pretending to be Agrias?
It was Agrias' last wishes to Rainmar that he act in his stead, and he, in case anyone came to Rainmar that way, or came to Agrias, they'd be thrown off the set. You understand. She nods.
And Agrias tried to
act
with a move he hadn't mastered yet.
It seemed the only way.
Fool. You're better at judging books, sis.
She shrugs her shoulders a bit. You guys all notice that when she is around Kalaya, she's a little bit different. There's obviously an alpha and a beta relationship here, and she kind of doesn't want to step out of bounds when it comes to Kalaya. She's also clearly a little bit afraid of Kalaya, you guys can tell.
And if you read the sheet, you'd know why.
The sheet was only to you, though. I only gave it to you. There's a reason for that. So anyway, Brixton, you guys are noticing that this dynamic between the three of them, or between the two of them as you go back to camp. The trip overland to camp probably takes about 4 days. And during the trip, you do not encounter any kind of resistance on the way. The weather actually stays up pretty good. As you get out of the mountains, the temperature kind of begins to become a little bit more bearable. The high winds aren't nearly as painful to the flesh. It is starting to get later in the season, however. The days are getting shorter. You can tell that there's a little bit of a chill in the air. It won't be long before it starts to snow in Radek. Go ahead, Arion.
2 things. I don't know if I pointed some stuff out to you on chat.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as in this time between the temple and the camp, I would have liked to have maybe tried to fortify the camp with food by shooting something if we can get some, whether, small game or...
Yeah, I remember that. You were able to do that. You were able to do that. And you were able to fortify just a little bit. Nothing really dramatic.
Really, if we left Tobias there, we may be depleted in food stores.
Correct. Soon enough, as your travels conclude, the shadow of the compound comes into sight. You see people on the they made a little bit of a battlement around the top of the palisade fence, and there's a couple men standing on top of it with crossbows. One of them is wearing this really wide brimmed hat with a purple feather in it, and he looks over at the other one, kind of whispers something.
I want his hat.
Guys come back. He descends, and somebody comes up the battlement, and it's Herrick with his crossbow. He looks at him. Long time no see, guys.
Herrick's in the purple hat?
Yep.
Oh, can I try to
Nice hat.
spot it off him?
Huh?
Can I try to steal it off him without him noticing?
As you guys get closer, perhaps.
All right.
Hey, I see you guys brought friends. He looks down at Kalaya.
Well, we're not sure about that yet, but she's with us.
Yeah, me neither. I wouldn't let her in. What's up, Dutz?
Silence, fool.
Kind of pulls up his crossbow and kind of waves it in the air a little bit. Smiles, looks at the rest of you. Says, just so you know, he goes, me and Dorian been talking, shape changers and all that. Why don't you guys tell me something that only you and I would know?
We both know that I could kill you in a fight.
He rolls his eyes a bit. How about you guys tell me something that only you and I would know?
I look up at him. I pull my mask and I say, "You recognize this face?"
He looks down. He goes, "Open the doors." He goes, "The boys are back." He kind of descends down the stairs. Door opened. Doors open. They pull out a little bit of a plank for you guys to cross the moat in. Cross the moat. Guys all walk inside of the place. They've actually started to build permanent shelters inside of there with wood. The whole place is starting to become more and more fortified. It looks like there's one of them that's actually made out of stones. Kalaya, you are walking in there, and this Herrick guy, as you pass him, he just mutters under his voice, "I got my eye on you."
I mean, again, I'll slit your throat in your sleep.
Just kind of smiles a little bit, almost like he's impressed a little bit. Nods. You walk past him. Brixton. He goes, "I got you something." He pulls off the hat. He goes, "Check this out." He goes, "You like this?"
That's for me?
"Yeah, it's for you." He goes, "The captain brought it."
I was going to say, who'd you steal it from?
"Oh, it's who she stole it from. I don't know where she got it."
All
It's
right.
yours. She said you didn't look right without it.
Oh,
Hey, you guys are missing somebody. Actually, you're missing a couple somebodies. Where's the guys?
We'll chat about that. They're back at the temple.
Oh.
Yes, Herrick. Agrias is back at the temple.
Oh. Okay. He looks over at you, Ariad. I gotta ask you something. Come here with me. He starts walking away he starts walking away.
You can't in front of everybody else?
No, I want to talk to you in private.
Oh, okay. So
He walks away with you.
Can I take this time to go to the Colonel and Calissa?
Yeah, you start walking up to Colonel Calissa. As you start walking up towards them, you notice all the carriages have been put inside the walls. This actually is starting to look like a real fortification more and more. They built a little tower on one side of it. Looks pretty good. The boat is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
The boat is nowhere to be seen.
Do I feel the connection now that I'm in camp?
What's that? No, you still don't have a connection. But, Arion.
Yes.
As you're walking away with Herrick, you see loping across the ground in that, and the only way the only animal that can make this move, Tobias is running out from underneath one of the one of the caravans to you.
Okay.
He runs over. He's like, "So you're finally back. I thought you got yourself killed."
No, us dummies aren't that bad. Self-preservation is good. Hopefully these guys didn't treat you bad.
You smell like sadness. What's going on?
I sort of give them a quick brief of what
Hey,
has gone.
thanks, Lord Gasamba. We appreciate it.
I give them a brief of what had happened from what I know anyway.
So is he coming back?
Not sure.
What about Rainmar? Is he coming back?
Eric. I thought.
No, he was talking about Agrias first.
Well, I thought you were talking about as Tobias.
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he goes, "What about Rainmar? Is he coming back?"
I hope so. He seems to have a fetish right now.
Oh. Well,
Like,
he ain't the only one anyway. Herrick looks at you. He says, "Listen." He goes, "This one that you're with right now." He goes, this elf."
Yeah.
He goes, "What's the story here?"
I sort of brief him and I tell him that from what I can tell, I don't trust her completely, but I'm inclined to because of everything that Melina and I had gone through, and I sort of brief him on that.
I don't know whether I hate her or I'm in love with her. She's a hard ass. He goes, and he looks at you. He goes, she showed up about 2 weeks ago here at the camp. She was looking for Agrias, and I thought I was going to shoot her right then and there because I figured it was like back Caverick's Cove, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But then we started talking a little bit, and she said she was Melina's sister. So I didn't shoot her, but I told her she had to get the hell away from the camp because I figured that's what you guys would want.
Good that you're say untrusting in that sense because it's good for garrison protection.
Well, I hate to admit this, but it was Dorian's idea. He's not too bad of a guy.
Who's Dorian?
Oh, he's that paladin we met before, remember?
I haven't.
Oh, you haven't met him yet. He's okay.
Yep.
He's got a stick up his ass, but he's...
Last time I was here, you guys had just started putting a little bit of construction together here.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot we got to go over. I'll tell you all about it in a second. Meanwhile, Brixton, you are you're heading over to the Colonel's to the where the tent previously was. It has been fortified now with stone and wood. It's actually now a very solid structure. But as you get closer, something moreover is really striking you. They've made a massive raft on the shore of the Retikian shore there. It's probably about 500 yards wide of timber. It's just this massive flat raft of bound timbers together. It's 500 yards square, kind of bobbing in the waters, the chop of the waters. You get to the door. As you get to the door, you see inside. There's a window actually there. They've actually made windows in the place. Shanna is sitting there. She's writing on something on the desk. What will you do?
I'm going to go in.
Yeah, you just open the door. When you open the door, everybody looks at you. It's Shanna, Calissa, and Trotty, and her are all in there. They all kind of look at you. Big smiles on their face. Brixton, my boy! You hear the Colonel say, he's hobbling over with his walking stick. It's good to see you, my friend. Reaches over with his big meaty hand.
I reach over with my small gnomish hand.
He shakes it kind of almost hard enough to lift you off the ground a couple times. We feared the worst. Are you feeling well? You look well.
Thank you. I got a new hat.
Yeah. Oh, you were given the hat. Yes. Good. It looks good on you.
Thank you.
Good.
Yeah, I kind of tell them everything that happened. Agrias has vanished. Rainmar's staying at the temple.
He looks at you and says, wait. So both of your leaders are gone. Who's leading now? And as you're pausing there, we're going to go back to the temple for a moment. Rainmar, you're at the temple. You're standing there in the main part of the temple that I've got on the screen right now. What will you do? You're all alone except for the brother and for Fluffy and the orc Norik. Hey, just so you know, I didn't trust her either. Norik says, she seemed a little weird to me.
Okay, good to know. Where did I leave off on the map? That was the...
Okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to hover over on the map with my cursor where his room is. Okay, that is where his room is. Can you see it?
Well, I will be in about 8 seconds.
Yeah, that's why that's why I'm telling you that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and where you left off is right where I is now.
Okay, the stairwell at the bottom of that corridor is the place where I didn't go down last time?
That one, the one respectively, as you stare at your screen on the left, that is the one going up that he told you about, that is going to the greater temple, and the one on the right that you can see is the one going to the lesser temple, underground.
Okay. But the one that was going downward was the one that I was going to go into last time, I think.
That is the one you were thinking about going into last time.
Okay. The problem with the time that's passed, did my firewolves get fed?
Yes, you would have definitely seen to that.
Good.
Yes. In fact, Melina would have hunted for you and got out if you couldn't do it yourself.
And Norik and yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so if they're fed, then the next thing would be to go either down into the lower level of the temple or up into the main temple.
Your choice. Which are you going to do?
I think first things first, I'd like to... When they fed the fire wolves, did they happen to check on Jonas's body?
You would have asked about that, and Norik would have said there really wasn't much left. By the time we came back, he goes, kind of was gone. To be honest with you, didn't see it there.
Okay, not a problem.
We thought that Melina thought maybe he went to his gods or whatever, but I don't know. He goes, I saw wrappings on the ground, that stuff that you wrapped him up in.
Yeah.
So it seemed like he got up. I don't know.
It seemed like he got up.
Yeah. Well, to me, I mean, that's what I would think. I mean,
okay.
He got up. The wrappings were on the ground. I mean, what do you want?
Okay. I'm just going to leave that alone. We're just going to leave that alone for now. So I want to go down. I think the downstairs are closer, right? No, the upstairs are closer.
The upstairs would be closer.
Okay, let's just do the closer one then.
Okay. So you go start to wind your way through the temple and go upstairs. Are you going to pass through Asperion's room to get there, or are you going to go a different route?
I wanted to ask Asperion where other tools that I could use for the defense of the temple, where are they in the temple? Which direction should I go?
Well, the most potent ones, he says, would be the ones that are in the Chimera room.
Okay.
He says, but before we even do that, he says, we were concluded with our training. He says, but there still is one detail that must be done. You know of what I speak, yes?
You want me to kill that that freaking Minotaur?
He smiles.
All right, do I have to kill it by myself, or can I take my boys with me?
Shakes his head. He says, only you. He says, you must. He says, it's now time for you to prove what you know.
God damn it. I was hoping to get through this episode without that happening. All right, I walk straight to the Minotaur door and walk in.
Okay, the Minotaur door to the left or to the right?
I ask him which is the best entrance to the labyrinth.
He tells you the best entrance to the labyrinth is, he says, why don't you go to the one here closest to the, why don't you go to the one closest to the, to my chambers? This one. He points out what's on the screen right now.
All right. Can I ask you, would you be willing to look over the training of my guys here so that they're not dallying while I'm trying to murder this Minotaur?
He goes, of course.
All right.
He says, you have trusted me so far. He goes, I would do the same for you, of course.
All right. If I don't make it back, Norik.
What do you mean if you don't make it back? You're going to make it back. Look at you. He goes, you just finished telling these guys how ripped you were. He goes, look at you. You're all muscle. Your nipples are wet. He goes, you look fantastic.
It's a true story. Thank you for noticing. So,
how could you not notice?
I know, they're kind of sticking out there. So, all right. So I just go in. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm not
Fluffy
afraid.
does not seem to want to leave your side.
Hey, stick with Norik.
Kind of looks over at you and kind of whimpers a little bit and walks away back to Norik.
Right. I just flop her ears a little bit. You know, I'm just like this. Okay. All right.
Asperian seems it's very rare that you see Asperian bemused, but he seems a little bemused by this.
All right. What do I go in with? I'm taking my spear, my shield.
You may take your shield, your spear, your sword, your helmet. Nothing else.
Okay.
He says, he says, when my father wrestled, he says, when my father learned how to fight, he had to wrestle one with his bare hands. He says, you should feel good.
Okay.
At least you get a spear.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it in a distance.
That's how my father died, too, you know.
Wrestling a Minotaur?
He nods.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
I believe in you, bro.
I'm ready. Should I roll initiative?
You're at the beginning of the labyrinth to go into the Minotaur. You can see what you can see on the screen right now. What direction do you want to go?
Straight. No, directly to the right.
Okay. You begin to go directly to the right. You start heading down that way. As you go in, and you're standing right in the middle of the circle, you're at a crossroads there. The air in this place, when you walk in, is very cold. The smell is of animals. It's of very old urine and fecal matter. It's dry in there. You feel eyes upon you in the darkness, just staring, burning down on you.
Okay. From which direction?
It's hard to say.
Oh, give me that shit.
It's hard to say because you get the impression that inside of this labyrinth, directions are being turned around. There's like some kind of a magical effect in here that makes it hard to know which way to go.
The walls don't happen to be bleeding in this labyrinth, are they?
No, they are not.
Okay, sweet.
We have one of our viewers out there just said, "Oh my nipple whipple."
Okay, I am working my way through the labyrinth with my
spear out.
Yeah, with the spear and the shield.
And you're getting yourself ready. Which direction are you going to go? Up or to the right?
Up.
Begin going upward. And you find yourself at another crossroads. Which direction will you go? And by the way, that sensation of something looking at you is even greater here. It feels like you're getting closer. You feel like you can almost feel breath on the back of your neck. And you're starting to hear things in the air. It's like echoes throughout the hallways. These old, ancient marble hallways. It's like echoes of voices. Things like, don't go this way. Don't go. No, come this way. Everything is starting to echo to you and call you in different directions. And you're aware somehow that is everyone that has died in here.
God damn it. Okay, what does the helmet think about this?
The helmet, when you are you actually kind of thinking to ask it?
No, I'm just reading what it feels.
Then it is not responding to. It's not really It's not really responding in any way.
Okay, fine. All right, I'm gonna keep going.
Forward.
Yeah. No. I see. There's a little hang to the right there.
Yep. You're gonna go that way.
Yeah, I'll go right.
You begin to go to the right that way. As you go forward, heading up. Hey, Celestian. Hey, thanks for the raid, man. We really appreciate it, bud. As you go forward, Celestian will probably brought a bunch of hardcore, super skilled Fantasy Grounds guys who are going to make fun of my map here. I'm sure, but please try and have mercy with me, guys.
Well, that'll distract them from my failure.
At any rate, you're heading up through this area.
It's only Fantasy Grounds, not 1E AD&D, though.
That's true. So you're heading north. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to the camp for a moment. Kalaya, everyone is split up and kind of has left you to your own devices. You see that raft kind of bobbing in the distance. It seems very... It's almost like, what are these guys up to here? It seems very, all like they've got this great master plan going on, but nobody's really said anything. Melina is with you, and she's walking us to your side. She says, so what do you think of my friends?
Like, friends is a little bit of a strong word to call them, but they're present at least.
I wouldn't judge them too harshly. They're actually quite competent. They don't fight nearly like we do, but some of them have skills that are reminiscent of some of the things that we've been exposed to at the garden. For example, Brixton, she says, can manipulate shape and color, and his ability to create illusions is not too different from perhaps even what the gardener might do.
Big talk coming from a librarian.
I am the gardener.
She kind of sits back a little bit. She says, my sister, we all have our role to play within the garden. Just as there are insects that pollinate the flowers, so too, there must be mantises to take care of those insects that would prey upon them. Perhaps we can acknowledge both of our importance within the garden.
Fair enough. What exactly is happening in this camp?
Well, she says, and she looks kind of around herself, that raft over there is being built by the group here, Prokanzai. They're going to study something underneath the waves of the Solar Ocean. She points at the coast. Apparently, she pauses. At the schism, when the elvish race broke into many, many parts, this is where the aquatic elves entered. They wished to know more about what became of them and what their culture was like and what happened. I think it's a worthy cause, she says, looking out at the waves. She says, there isn't much that we know about our brothers under the waves. Pauses.
This is true.
She says, even for someone like you who has very little use for books, certainly curiosity must be piqued.
My curiosity about how you fell into this ragtag bunch. It's tops the list.
Do you really wish to know?
Does it involve Agrias?
It does.
You sound defensive.
No, I'm just going to... I know that what I'm about to relate to you is an uncomfortable truth, and you won't want to hear it. But I'm going to tell it to you anyway. I just need to know if you're prepared to hear it.
When I have ever not been prepared for anything, sis.
Very well, then. You know that Agrias was unfairly treated at the garden. You know this to be true.
Some believe so, yes.
I was one of those. I've renounced the Black Orchid, she says, and looks at you. She says, I now represent the prismatic chrysanthemum.
Those are just legends.
You have not seen the splendor of the Citadel of Shadows. She says, and if you think it a legend, let me show you something. Closes her eyes and concentrates deeply. And she says, she moves her hands slightly, and behind them trail this strange darkness for a moment. She weaves them in a pattern with her sword, and she holds the sword up for a moment, and then she reaches out and touches your hand. When she touches your hand, the color drains out of the top of your hand. It's kind of a chill feeling, and then she breaks off for a moment. Color returns. The warmth returns. And you have now just seen the most heretical thing you have ever seen in your life. It is, imagine if your cousin in real life just told you, hey, by the way, I just started worshiping Cthulhu, and by the way, here's an example of Deep One power, and showed it to you.
Okay. And where did you learn this?
The Citadel of Shadows from the Chrysanthemum herself. See, I told you they weren't legends. Agrias, of course, more powerful than I, a greater warrior than I. He studied the mysteries even more deeply than I did. The mistress and him found a connection right away. That was both to laud him and his undoing, I fear. But now, I must follow him into shadow. You see these men, Rainmar, Arion, Agrias. I do not know Brixton so well yet, but these three men in their own ways, each of them, their hearts are powerful, they're potent, strong. And I know you respect strength above all things.
Heart goes a long way, but it doesn't win wars.
She kind of chuckles. No, that's true. Let them prove themselves to you then, without bias.
And what about Herrick?
Herrick is just uneducated. That's his only failing.
That's an understatement, sis, but okay.
Imagine, if you would, if someone were trying to enter the garden. Would you not respond in a similar fashion, just with longer words?
Fair enough.
She nods. I missed you very much, my sister. She looks at you. She says, I know we haven't always seen eye to eye, and I know that we don't necessarily believe the same things. But I've missed you greatly.
And you.
Kind of smiles, puts her hand on your shoulder, on your shoulder, and says, perhaps one day I'll understand you as well as you understand me.
I hope so.
Arion, over at the camp, itself. You and Herrick are standing there. You're watching the sisters on the shore. Herrick is like, listen, I've got. Hey, thanks, Melodic Method. I appreciate you following us. He goes, listen, I don't know about this person over here, but I didn't want to say this in front of anybody. But I got something for you too. It showed up. Maybe it's better if I show you.
Well,
he goes walking over to one of the caravans. He looks up at the top of the caravan, and there's a hawk sitting on top of the caravan. It's staring down.
Okay.
There's something tied to the hawk's ankle, a small piece of paper. And he goes, "Watch this." He starts watching up. The hawk just kind of starts to make this tittering noise in its throat at him. He says, "If I get it closer, it's going to try and bite me."
Do I know anything about? I have animal handling, but only with Wolverine, really.
No, he's. You know exactly what this is. This is the way that the scouts of North Raddick, relay messages.
That's what I was figuring. So, also, I'll see if I can, use whatever hand signals that the hawk might be familiar with.
You walk up to it. The hawk has absolutely no problem with you approaching. You walk up to it. It extends its foot.
Take the message away or untie it and whatever.
I figured this was for you. Well, Dorian figured it was for you, but
I still have to meet this Dorian. I don't know who you're talking about.
I'll introduce you to him. He's not too bad of a guy. You just got to get used to him. He's a typical,
you got to get used to me then, right?
Oh no! I saw eye to eye with you right away. After we all stopped trying to kill each other. I mean, guns. Anyway, so read your message. Tell me what it says. It occurs to you that Herrick can't read.
Well, I'm not going to do that and put that down. I'll basically, it's written in Elvish or whatever.
Right. It says 2 days, signed MM.
Okay.
That is shorthand among your scouts that they will be here in 2 days.
When did this get here?
Yesterday.
Okay, we've got to wait at least another day.
What did it say?
Some of the scouts, I sort of explained this, how our border scouts communicate with each other.
Oh.
It says in 2 days somebody's supposed to be here. That's all I really know.
You were somebody you expected, right?
Do I know that what that MM stands for? Who that might be, or if that's
initials of a guard, probably.
Okay, I didn't know if I might recognize the.
One of our viewers is saying Melodic Method, says it stands for Melodic Method. So, but anyway, he goes. He says, "All right, well, okay. So you're expecting this person, right? We shouldn't be shooting when we see this."
If somebody,
I'm telling you, this Kalaya has got me on edge.
Everybody gets you on edge.
I know, but more so this one. I had a weird feeling about this one.
Yeah, you had a weird feeling about me, too.
Well, that's true, too, I guess. You think so? You think I had a weird feeling about everybody? Does everybody put me on edge? Really?
I think, from what I've seen, it almost seems like more elven people put you on edge than anybody else.
Are you saying I'm a racist?
No.
Oh.
I'm just pointing what I've observed, that's all.
Oh. Okay. Well, I got no problem with elves. I mean, I figure, I think my dad even had one. So yeah. Oh, yeah, that wasn't good to say.
You do really good as a guard because you're very. I won't say. You're suspicious enough where you do a good job with what you're tasked to.
Anyway, we need to get down the coast, man. He goes, those people have been down there for a while now with the boat. I don't know what Sharissa's doing, And when she finds out that Raymar's not going to come back, she's going to hit the ceiling. She brought him back a bunch of stuff, I guess, from up the coast.
Well,
like all kinds of books and stuff.
How about, before we go and introduce you to this Dorian character, we need to go talk to our employers. I need to figure out what they want us to do.
Okay. So you go walking back to the headquarters.
I don't want to sit there and keep going off on our own without direction. They're paying us to do a job.
Right. Well, we're getting paid okay. That's for sure. He goes. He leads you back to the headquarters building. As you walk in the door, you see Brixton standing there with the colonel. You see that his daughter Shauna is in there with him, and Clissentrati's there as well. And the colonel just says to him, "Well, who's in charge of this right now anyway, if they're gone?" Brixton, that's the last thing you heard in there. What are you going to do?
Your mic's up.
I'm muted. So I unmute and I say, I am.
All right. Well, you're in charge then. Good. Good. Well, then what's the plan then?
Well, I hand them the letters. I say, give these to the respective people that they need to be delivered to.
Who's this from?
Some of them are from Raymar. Some of them are from me. Some of them need to leave camp.
Oh, okay. Good.
And
he hands one to Clissa and Trotty. He's got another one for Clissa. He hands a third one to Calissa.
And then I need to head back to Mirathrason to gather Aurora. And I think we need to let the others know that Ari and I are safe because they're down there looking for us.
Good idea.
I reiterate that he needs to get back down there, at least to get connected back with his familiar. But we also promised I don't know how much he has informed you on what we had found down in there, but there's a gnomish or Nimish, however you want to pronounce it, settlement, and we promised them help against some orcs which nearly got us killed down there.
I made a big boom. Well, I guess we made a big boom.
This is before when with the that necromancer character. Remember, before we even.
Wait a second! You guys are tangled with necromancers, and what is going on here?
I'm not saying. I'm saying that directly. I'm not talking in play.
Okay. I got you.
I wasn't sure which boom he was talking about.
I got it. Okay, so you guys are telling him that you guys need to get down there. The colonel seems to agree with you that you guys need to get down there as soon as possible.
We also need to figure out what you guys want us to do, because you're paying us for a job to do. This is something that I think you would task us to do anyway.
Yeah, he looks back at you and he says, "The raft is almost built." He says, "It looks like to me that we'll be another week and we'll be done."
Okay.
And then we can begin the act of actually going out to sea.
Okay.
And I say, if anybody needs Agrias or Raymar, to go to the temple.
I see. Calissa Entrati says, she folds up the note, and she says, "I'm taking a couple men to do just that." She adjusts her glasses a bit. She says, "Can you spare me for a week?" She looks over to the colonel. The colonel kind of thinks about it. He goes, I suppose we could, yes. Yes, I have business at the temple. She folds up the note, puts it in one of her scroll cases. Looks back at the two of you, and she says, "Thank you for relaying the messages. I've compiled some notes from what you've told me about what I expect you will find in Mirathason. I've compiled a couple of legends, some things that I think might help you. But moreover, I've done some research on this magi that you've been encountering, Arion, this pyromancer.
Okay.
Nods. I know much about this man now.
I need to talk to you specifically about him sometime.
She says, you'll have your chance to speak to him specifically soon, I think. There's more to this than meets the eye. She says,
here's what, and I want to fill her in too, as long as everybody's here. I want to bring a lot of this stuff out in the open as well. I sort of relate. I can't remember if anybody's told them, if we told Melina and Sonny to tell them what had gone on down there. But I want them to know what we had encountered with whatever the necromancer was.
Yeah. She was actually
what she had related with the other possible wizard.
Right. Those things have already reached her ears from your friends.
Okay.
I've included those in your notes, which you're going to actually get offline after this game.
Okay.
So she says that yes, I've got many things to tell you about these men. This is far-reaching, I believe, and it involves you, Arion, very directly.
Okay.
It was no accident that the old widow's house was attacked that night. I believe, actually, the whole thing might have been a ploy to draw you near to it.
What did I do? Do you know what, can you tell me what singled me out if this was the case?
She nods and takes a pause and takes a deep breath, and she looks around in the room. She says, I suppose we're surrounded by friends, so it doesn't matter any longer.
Doesn't matter. I'd rather everybody have an idea of what they're getting into, whether it's, as long as we're a party together, everybody should know it right up front.
You know much about your father.
Yep.
You do not know much about your mother, do you?
Well, I spent, half of my life with her.
But what did she actually tell you about her past, per se?
Basically was what I learned alongside of her when she was one of the younger children of a highborn family in Selene, and
Indeed.
Because she was more of a bookworm than anything else, and she was able to get along with other different races and people. She was liaison with trading deals, plus she did a lot of research in the libraries.
Highborn, she said.
Mm-hmm.
And just pauses and shakes her head. And somebody's echoing over there, by the way. I don't know who is echoing, but she says, your mother was much more important than a simple highborn elf.
Okay.
She pauses for a second.
So this is something getting to the going toward family?
It is, indeed. Much of your past is coming back to haunt you, she says, looking at you.
Okay.
I don't think that you know the whole of it. It will be explained in my document because I don't want to reveal your family business this openly, even among friends. The less people that know of this, the better.
That's fair.
But this has to do with your mother, and this has to do with her place within Selene. Kind of pauses for a second, and she looks over at the colonel. Pauses again, looks over at you, Brix, and says, I have reason to believe that your mother has claim to the throne of Selene.
That would be very strange because as far as I know, the elves don't do they do.
She takes a deep breath. She takes a deep breath and says, you need to learn more about your homeland.
Okay.
And when you read my document, all will become clear.
Okay. What that I can understand if it's just, my personal information, but anything that has to do with safety or awareness of the group, I want it out in the open.
This should be enough to suffice.
Okay.
Meanwhile, back at the temple, Jeremy, you're in that corridor. The scent of animal is all around you. The scent, the feel of something bearing down on you with these dark eyes, these burning eyes, is upon you.
Yeah,
you can hear your own pulse in your head. You can hear the echoes of these of dead warriors in here that have tried and struggled with the Minotaur and have died in here. What will you do?
I'll just keep pressing forward in that same direction.
Begin forward. Begin forward.
Yeah, the map shows where I am right now, right?
Yes, and I'm going to move the map. Hold on for just a moment. Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, you're right there, right now on the map, as we speak.
Yeah.
You can begin turning down the corridor. And right when you turn around the corridor, at the end of the hallway to the right, you see motion that's gone in just a second.
You're talking just straight down on the map right there.
No. Right where my cursor is.
Yeah.
It went from top down.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the corner in pursuit of it with the spear in front of me.
Okay, you turn the corner in pursuit of it. As soon as you turn the corner, you see a skull laying at the bottom, at the end of the corridor, with a feather wound through its eye with a piece of string. And right behind you, you hear this horrible roar. It comes from above you at about maybe a height of maybe 8-9 feet above you. You turn around as you realize it rolled that down the hallway. You turn around. This thing is massive. It's 3 times the breadth of you. 9 foot tall. In its hand is a massive battle axe. Its eyes are these glowing coals that stare down at you. Its nose has this golden ring through it. And as it breathes through its nose, it's almost this fiery smoke with wisps of embers in it as it looks down at you, staring down. It roars out in anger, looking down at you. Roll me a 6-sider for initiative.
6.
Oh, so did I, but your initiative modifier is better. So please go ahead.
Okay.
It looks down at you. It got the axe prepared. Go ahead. What are you going to do?
I get the sense that this thing is definitely attacking me.
Oh, it's definitely attacking you. It looks completely insane, enraged by your existence near it.
I'm close enough for melee?
Yes, you are.
Okay. And any chance that I need to disbelieve what I'm seeing?
Yes, you can. Give me a percentage dice.
Oh, God. 68.
When you disbelieve what you're seeing, you kind of see it out of the corner of your eye. It's actually about 5 feet to the left of where it should be.
Okay. It's displaced.
It is displaced.
Is it the same size displaced?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's just slightly off to the side.
And did my teacher show me how to throw the spear?
Yes, your teacher did teach you how to throw the spear.
I'm going to charge with the spear.
You charge in with the spear.
Is this a 3-2?
Yes, it is. Please roll me a 20-sider.
Okay, 18. Oh, Jesus. And 17.
Okay. Please 2 8-siders.
Oh, that's not an 8. That would have been terrible. I rolled a 6. Okay. 2 and 3.
Okay. Raymar, you come in with your spear. Your first shot at it, as you melee, you come in with this point of the spear. It hits its shoulder, kind of deflects off of its flesh. The thing roars out in pain. Blood starts to rush out of its shoulder. The second one is a little bit truer, and you get it close to the ribs up in that area. The thing starts to bleed out of a long cut through its chest. It roars out in pain, takes its battle axe in both hands, and comes straight down on top of your head with it. Just a savage blow.
Okay.
Hits the ground next to you. Chips of ancient marble spray everywhere. Someone bites into your leg as you kind of slide out to the side of it. Your turn.
Can I make a targeted shot for him? Because he's no longer displaced, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to make a targeted shot for his weapon hands that's holding the battle axe.
Okay. Pointed or a strike across with the haft of the spear?
If the spear is a magic item,
it's a plus. It might be.
Yeah, it's a plus magic item, which means only the business end of it would be +1, right? Or plus whatever.
Correct.
Yeah, I'll slash the way that he showed me to slash with the spear.
Okay, go ahead. 20.
Either 15 or 16.
Okay. Either one is good enough to hit his armor class.
It's a 16, but yeah. These dice require light, a lot more light than this.
I know those are ones we should give to Agrias. Anyway, what do you got? 8-sider?
Oh, 8-sider. Forgive me. That's an 8.
Okay. You come in with the spear. It comes down with the axe and hits the ground. The spray of the marble comes over. It leaves it wide open. You take the spear and you take the point of it and drive it right through the hand into the grip of the weapon. The thing roars out in pain, just blood gushing out from its hand, pooling on the ground. The thing roars, it tries to rear back. As it rears back, you can see it tears up a little bit further out of the wound, opens up even further. It finally rips out of it, just roars again. The hand is pretty much useless right now. The thing just... It's screaming just in madden now. It drops its head and charges you.
Okay.
Can't really get to you because of the way the axe was and your spear was. It has to kind of come around a little bit, leaving itself a little bit more open. What will you do?
The weight of the axe is too much for me to wield it?
Yes.
Is he close enough to the axe to get him to trip on it?
Yes, if you position yourself correctly.
Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to position myself in such a way that in order for him to evade, he has to fall toward his own weapon.
Okay.
So kind of and this is my 2 per 3 round, right?
Right, which means you get also an attack this round.
Yeah. Okay,
you
so I'm going to go, if he's charging,
yes,
with his little,
yes, he is,
like this, I'm going to try to drop down a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead and make me a 20.
16, or 15.
Oh, nice. Go ahead and roll me an 8, please, for damage.
I actually still can't tell what it is. Anyway, whatever.
15 will hit.
That's a 6.
Come back up with your spear. As it drops down, it puts its head down. You jab straight down. You think you got it scraped through the crown of the head, but it hits one of its horns. It kisses off the horn. You see a bunch of the horn actually split off and it drives a little bit through the back of the head. Just like a divot, a big divot gets taken out of the back of the head. Blood rolling, matting through the back of its head. The thing is crazed with anger and rushes towards you again and trips over the axe to get to you. Trips over the axe, hits the ground, hits the wall. Hits the wall with such force, the marble starts to splinter out of the wall again. You can feel the heat of its breath being so close to you. This ancient sweat and just this pure rage being vented upon you. Hits the wall, turns around. It's so close to you right now. It's probably only about 4 feet away from you. It seems so massive. What will you do?
So he's right on top of his axe?
Pretty much, yes.
And he's open for a shot. Where
is he open for the shot?
Is he dipped down again?
Trying to dip down.
This time when he dips down, I'm going to aim for the... I'm going to try to get that spear to go through the pelvis.
Okay.
So I can drop him.
Pull the spear down. Set it back just like he taught you to prepare for a charge. Go ahead and 20 me.
As I just warned Matthew, sometimes when you're rolling well, it's a 9.
Okay.
So.
Thing drops down, misses it misses the end of your spear, but it's right there with you. And it leans down, and it hits you hard with the horn. Take 6, please. Hits you. You feel it hit your shield pushes your shield back. You feel something hits you against the wall. Something in your shoulder gives way. You hear something crack in your shoulder. The marble, you hear crack underneath the weight of the power of it as it hits you back. It's so close. It's right up against you, leaning with all of its weight. It's reaching up with both of its fists above you, trying to come down on top of your head. Your turn.
That's ambitious.
What are you going to do?
Okay. Am I catching him as he's coming down?
Yes, you're catching him as he's coming down.
And this is my 3 per 2 round.
It is your 3 per 2 round.
Okay. And I have my shield between me and him?
Yes.
I'm going to use only 1 this round. I'm going to save my 2 for the next round, assuming I live.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to roll toward his axe. And as I roll...
Okay. Roll me a 20.
Jesus. 10.
You roll out of the way. The thing just grazes the side of his thigh as you go by. Didn't quite play out the way you wanted to.
No.
But the Minotaur is still over top of you now as it turns around. You're back there with your spear up, and you're getting ready to... So it's having to evade kind of through your spear as it's coming to attack you. It reaches down and grabs its axe instead and jerks it out of the ground.
That's its action for the round?
That's its action this round.
Okay, right as he pulls it back, as he rips the axe back, mm-hmm. I follow his withdraw.
Okay.
And this
follow his withdraw. Make me a die roll. 20, please.
This is my 2 round.
Right.
Because I saved it. 20, motherfucker! Yeah, that's what I fucking... And a 4.
It pulls the axe out of the ground, and you follow the spear right back with it, right underneath the arm. You feel it goes under. The thing just roars in agony. As soon as you see the iron head of it break out through the shoulder blade between the shoulder blade area there, and actually cuts into its neck all the way through it. Gore just fountains out from underneath its arm, covering you, especially with this hot lava-like blood all over you. It's roaring out in agony. The voices all around you are starting to chant. It is starting to chant, Rainbar, Rainmar, like you're in a gladiatorial match. Rainmar, vengeance, vengeance. It's deafening inside of this helmet right now. The thing staggers backwards. It's still alive. It pulls out of from underneath your spear. It staggers backwards against the wall. It doesn't quite know. It looks like it's probably been hurt in its life. It's staggering back, blood just everywhere on the floor, on the walls, streaks of it everywhere. It doesn't. It's not going to be able to attack this round. So it's your turn if you want to press your advantage.
But my spear has been taken.
Yes, it is. It's stuck underneath the arm right now and through it, locking up that arm completely.
Okay, I need to. So I draw my orchid sword. My.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shink.
And do I get 2 or 1 this round?
1 this round.
1. Okay. I gotta do this. I gotta get wild up in here. So I do a running slide and try to take one of his legs off.
Okay, make me a 20.
Oh, yeah. Okay, just more than 10. Oh, my God. It's a 7.
You run through, you get there, and when you hit the ground to slide through, you get a patch of blood. And it kind of, you lose your footing a little bit as you slide. It turns you around a little bit, and you miss the cut through its leg. With its free hand, it takes its axe and it comes straight down on you.
Of course it does. Fucking bastard.
Oh no. Oh no.
hey man, this guy is hemmed up. He's barely alive. I mean,
take 8. It comes straight down through you, hits you straight in the middle of the back. You feel something in your spine break.
Wow.
Not broken. Something broke, though. Like, you're not paralyzed, but something broke in there. The voices are just echoing inside the helmet. Rainmar, Rainmar, vengeance, vengeance. You can hear your own voice. You can hear your blood pumping in your ears. The thing roars out in almost like the sadistic glee as it hit you in the middle of the back. What are you going to do?
I'm on the ground?
Yes, you're on the ground. You're sitting there. You got the orchid sword. You flatten you, and you're kind of turning upwards now. It looks like it's getting ready to come down again with the axe.
So I'm kind of underneath it.
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'm going to time this. This is my 2 round or my 1?
This is your 2.
Okay. As he's bringing that axe down, I'm going to time this in such a way, if I can, to cut his arm off.
Okay. Make me a 20. Or 2 20s, I should say.
I was just going to ask if I could call karma. Okay.
Wrong system.
8? No. 15, not 18.
Okay.
15, excuse me. And I rolled 15 twice in a row.
Roll me a 10-sider, please.
A 10-sider. 6.
Rainmar, the thing comes down with the axe. You see the gleam of light for a second reflected in its burning breath in its eyes as it comes down on you. You see your own sword glint as you pull the sword up through. You look up at it, and something hits the ground behind you, something heavy and thick. You hear a clatter of metal. The thing pulls back, screaming. It turns its arm, tries to turn its arm to grab the other one, which has nothing there but a stump anymore. And it can't because its arm is locked up with the spear. It's sitting there, falling backwards up against the wall, screaming in pain. Falls down to its knee in front of you and just tries to gore you out with its last dying breath, just leaning down and putting all its weight down on top of you. That is a hit. For 5. So you've taken 13 now total from this thing.
Okay.
You're laying there. Its weight is on top of you. It looks you in the eye, wild-eyed and crazed. Blood is just coming out of both corners of its mouth. Its nose, it's starting to breathe less frequently, looking at you.
That's cute.
Finally, it just kind of falls down on top of you.
I remember my first labyrinth.
Just laying there dead.
Okay, but I'm kind of laying there dead too, so I'm just going to kick back for a few minutes.
You're laying there, both of you. You're breathing hard. Inside of the helmet, you hear this massive cheer, like you're in the middle of this gladiatorial circle, and just raining down on you these cheers and these blessings from all these hundreds of dead warriors that tried to prove themselves in here against it. Scores of warriors just chanting your name until it recedes into the sound of your own beating of your heart, falling back against the wall.
And that cheering heals me back to full health.
Not exactly. So let's go back to the camp now. Brixton, you and Ariane are in the room. You've given the messages back to the colonel. Ariane, you're aware that that you're getting help in a day, probably, or less.
I also informed them of that.
Yep, and they are happy to receive these people for you. They say, when are you leaving to go down the coast?
I would say after this help arrives and whenever you people find it prudent to. I
think it would be as soon as your help arrives. You should leave immediately. But I wouldn't leave until you're reinforced, the colonel says.
I would also say, and this is just, I don't know what type of resources you have here, but I was wondering if we have any kind of white pitch replacements to maybe replenish our stock, if any.
No, he says, but we have established a supply line while you've been gone to Caverick's Cove. So it shouldn't take us more than 3 days to get some.
That would be good because it has helped us considerably.
He nods.
And I know a bunch of us are a little bit shy on that supply.
Right.
Also, I was just wondering, because of this particular pyromancer, do you have anything on fire resistance?
Thinks
or
about it.
something
Calissa
that could possibly help us out there.
Calissa says, as a matter of fact, I do. And she reaches into one of her pouches. She kind of fumbles for a second. Calissa's not really a fighter type. She's very bookish. She's she's a student.
She's a nerd.
Yeah, she pulls out a flask. And it's full of this red liquid. And she says, here.
Okay.
She says,
I take it.
She says, this is a potion that will help you resist the kiss of fire.
Okay. Thank you.
Make sure you take it before the flame comes your way. She says, if you take it afterwards, it won't do a thing.
Right.
She looks over at you, Brixton, and she says, Brixton, have you had a chance to learn anything in the way of spells?
A little bit. Some of the Snurf Nebly have shared with me.
Oh, excellent. That's good. She thinks about it for a second. We've been looking for someone that might be able to train you more effectively here. Because the captain says that illusionists are hard to come by in the area, though. So
I think I am okay with learning from the Smurf Nebly in Mirror-Thracen.
Oh.
I know it's a little far away, but as long as they'll have me.
No, as long as you're happy with it, then that's good with me. I was just trying to make sure that you had access to a trainer.
Yeah.
She looks out the window at the two elves that are out there on the shore for a moment. Kalaya and Melina. Looks back at you. She says, I would expect that you'll be gone before I return, Calissa says. So is there anything else you need from me?
A few things.
Yes.
Since I told them about Agrias, I'm going to say that nobody knows that Agrias is at the temple.
No, she shakes her head.
And then, yeah.
Okay. She nods.
I'm also curious. I was also wondering, and I relate what we found out or saw with those kobolds.
Right.
Being a little bit odd. And do you have any?
She asks you to describe them, and she starts drawing them out with your help. And she looks at them for a while, and she says, "No, but they're not unlike the creatures that you found here underneath here." In the
I didn't find anything underneath that.
No,
we were gone when that happened.
But yeah, she tells you the story about Agrias and Rain and what they found. That's not unlike this. Perhaps doing some research in that vein. She looks over at the captain. She says, she says, when my carrier returns, she says, do not send him northward to me. Tell him that I will need the information remotely. I'll have an answer for you about that as soon as I'm able.
Okay.
And she looks at you.
And if there's something odd about it or different, if there's some kind of I don't know if you want to say protection, but any kind of help along those lines in case it's something.
I will give you every bit of information I can regarding them and how you might be able to best them more effectively. Brixton?
Do we have you guys set up quarters for us?
I have, yes. The colonel looks over, he goes, well, he says, we did our best. He says that the Paladin's men have been quite useful in creating permanent lodgings. So please follow me. He leads you out. He says, Belina, my new friend, forgive me, I don't know your name.
Kalaya.
Oh, Kalaya.
Kalaya the muted.
Kalaya, I am, he goes, well met. He goes, my name is the Colonel. He says, I'm the one that's financing this great expedition into the Solnor. I'd like to show you where your quarters will be as long as you're with us. You'll have a place of comfort and respect among us.
Understood.
He walks away. Melina kind of looks at you and smiles, almost like to tell you, see, I told you these guys were okay. He takes you, the colonel takes you to these wooden structures. They're very small, but they're very comfortable. They're off the ground a little bit. There are bedrolls, permanent bedrolls in there. There's lanterns. There's a small amount of food in a box that's in each one of them. Some drinking water. So he says, "This is each one of you will have a place just like this among us."
Okay.
He looks at you, Arion and Brixton. He says, "I will personally come to you tomorrow morning after you've had a chance to rest. I'm sure you've traveled all day, so you're going to want to rest at some point here. We'll talk as soon as your people get here, when your help arrives, and so I can see you off."
All right.
Good? Good?
And where's my chest?
Oh, I'll take it to you. But first, there's something I have to tell you. Our new friend looks over and reaches into his... he hands you a small change purse. Kalaya. He says, "This is your first 3 days' pay in advance." Turns around and says, "Welcome to the group." Turns around and leads Brixton out of the room. She seems very nice. You hear it on the way out, you hear him say, "She seems very nice."
Oh, buddy.
We have our own individual rooms, correct?
Yes, you do. That's why he's taking you to a different structure.
Okay.
By the way, do I, like I said with my little private to you of what I was thinking, but do I have any kind of like a sense as to Kalaya more so?
She seems just like... She doesn't seem... How do I want to say this? She seems a little distant and kind of like where... You could see where she's related to Melina, but she's just kind of cold.
Cold and in action or just attitude?
Just attitude. It's sort of like she's just very blunt, and Arion, you've also know this. It's really not unlike elves a lot of times to be like this. If they just hang around elves all the time.
They're just basically aloof themselves.
Yeah, they don't really know how to act among humans and among people that don't live as long as they do. So sometimes that is how they act. Doesn't really surprise you too much.
Right.
So he leads you to the last thing that as you go off to your room, Arion, you're walking away from Kalaya and Melina. Melina is telling Kalaya, we can even share the same lodgings like we used to when we were children. Arion, you know the new one. I kind of dig her. Tobias says. You know why?
He's saying that about Kalaya?
Yeah. Tobias says to you. You know why?
Why is that?
Because she smells like death.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
By the way, I brought you a present. Here's a pretty freshly killed hunk of meat for you.
Oh, you know the way of my heart. You're a dumb one, but man, you got a heart bigger than this water over here. He starts chowing down.
That thing has a pretty good heart in it too.
Brixton, you go back to your room. The chest is there. Inside of the room, there's a man that's sitting there right next to it. He's tall, got a very he's got a shaved head, dark hair, kind of olive skin, dark eyes. Got a shield with him with a big tower that's been drawn on it. Big bastard sword at his side. He's petting a dog.
Is this Dorian?
He goes, this is our new friend Dorian. Dorian, this is Brixton Beholder's Bane. Man stands up. Pleasure to meet you, he says.
I shake his hand.
Dorian Eagleheart.
I've been meaning to ask you some things.
Oh, of course.
Do
we need to be alone?
Yeah, private would be best.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. The Colonel says, I'll be off then. And he leaves.
No worries, Colonel.
Colonel leaves. Says, you'll have to forgive me. I'm at a disadvantage. We've just met.
That's okay. But you're responsible for building the structures?
I am, yes. And I've also been responsible when Herrick's not guarding your chest, that I'm the one who's guarding it.
I appreciate that.
Say nothing of it. It was my duty.
I need you to make me an extra chamber underneath my room hidden from everything else.
He thinks about it for a second.
And you can't tell anyone.
Roll me a percentage die.
45.
He thinks about it for a moment. I know better than to ask what this is for, he says. How soon does it need to be completed?
I mean, the sooner the better. It doesn't have to be pretty, just...
In that case, if it doesn't have to be... If aesthetics is unimportant, he says, I will have myself and 2 of my men begin work tonight. If you can find someplace else to sleep, it'll be done by the morning.
Perfect.
How big does it need to be?
Probably 10 by 10. 20 by 20. How big's my room?
About 10 by 10.
Okay, maybe about 15 by 15, so just a little bit bigger than my room.
Thinks about it.
If that's doable.
He kind of chuckles a bit. He says, looks at his shield. He says, you have a lot to learn about me. It's doable.
Well, I just met you.
Yeah, he says, it's doable. He says, I serve the goddess of fortifications. He says, this is what we do.
Perfect. And if we can keep this...
Yes. Yes. I assume from what I've been told that you, knowing that you have a good heart, that what you do is for the betterment of the group.
Generally. Also, can you show me to Rangmar's room?
He hasn't gotten one yet. He hasn't been assigned one.
Okay.
Until he gets here, he'll have his choice of where he wants to live.
Okay.
None of these were earmarked specifically for you.
Okay, perfect. I understand.
He nods. He goes, good. I will go ahead and begin work with 2 of my men, my most trusted men, and I'll let you know tomorrow morning when it's done.
Thank you.
He leaves. I'll go get my men right now. And he leaves. Going back to Agrias, Kalaya, you and Melina are walking away into the towards one of the small built structures. Melina, are you going to actually let her sleep in the same structure as you?
Well, once we're inside, I'm going to throw her the gold and just say I didn't come here for money.
Well, you should know then. She looks at you and tosses it back. She says, I'm not here for it either. She says, take it as, she says, listen, she says, we're in the world of men. All right? She says, these people, this is what their lives are all about. This gold. Whether or not it's useful to you or not. She shrugs her shoulders. It's useful to them.
Fair enough. So are you ready to go?
Go? Go where?
Back to the temple.
And that right now is a good place for us to end our session for the evening. At the summation of our session, this is where we are. Arion has got his message has been returned to him. People are coming. When you first see them, you'll find out exactly what the extent of that is. You also, Calissa and Trotty has left you a little bit of information about your family and how they might interface with what's going on with these magi. Rainmar, you have just defeated the Minotaur in single combat inside of the temple. Thus, inside the labyrinth. Thus, allowing yourself to finish your training, to complete your training, and I will furnish you with an updated character sheet based on your training.
Okay.
After this, you've also gained a weapon, which I will also detail for you. Kalaya, you have joined the group. You have, at the last moment, surprising Melina, you have mentioned to her that you are returning to the temple, not going out to sea. So, that is out there right now. And how that's going to play out, we'll find out going forward. Brixton, you have returned back as well to the compound. Dorian, the paladin, has agreed to construct a small area for you underneath your domicile, in private, in secret. Only him and 2 of his men will know about it. And you, of course. Besides that, oh, and I forgot, Arion, you have also been reunited with Tobias. Brixton, yes.
I also sent some letters.
Yes, you also sent some letters as well. You have gotten back with the colonel, and the colonel believes now that you are in charge of the operation. Whether that is true or not, that's for you to decide going forward.
Yeah.
But that is what he believes at this point in time, and he's fine with that. This is the state that we are in when we will begin the next first betrayal, which will be 2 weeks from now on Saturday. You guys are in a position right now where you're doing different things and in different places. I may tab some of you as I have time here and there to complete some solos, just to advance the plot a little bit, to conclude some of your personal business. I think that would probably be best for the plot at this point in time. In that, I will need all 4 of you at one point in time. If I decide to go that route, I'll be in touch with regard to that. Everybody stick around here for a few minutes after we conclude, which is here in a few moments. I just want to throw out some Castle Entertainment business. I want to thank everybody out there in Twitch for watching us this evening who tuned in. I saw a lot of new faces tonight, so that's really cool. I thank you very much for supporting us and helping us do what we love. You will be able to see us on June 7th is the tentative date right now for the second part of the play test for our newest module, Castle Entertainment's module, Squaring the Circle, which is right here. That's the published format of it right here. You'll be able to see everyone here except for Brixton and that. But Brixton, I have some information for you forthcoming about what we discussed about you and your friends. So you can look forward to seeing that.
His friends?
Oh, he's got friends in high places and in low places too, as it should turn out. But everyone out there in Twitch, thank you very much for tuning in again. And for my whole group, I'm Carlos A. Slicing, your Dungeon Master. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good night.
Thank you.